re-steaming self-hosted server, and I forgot that I changed everything in OBS. I was wondering what's going on, and I remembered that that's all a little late today. Anyway, let's get started. So greetings, this is Editor Jumbo. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a low poly fence with Blender Python API for the website. So basically, we're going to render something like you see here. You see, we do that in Blender, and then we can easily put it onto the website. So the good news is that, as you guys know, is that I think 2 weeks ago, I figured out there was something that's not documented properly. I had to figure that out on my own, how because textures were not able to come through the glTF model, and especially the procedural textures. I figured it out, even the colors. So we're good to go from now on. So I did introduce some things I think 2 weeks ago. So those are those are still important for today's tutorial. And as you can see, today's tutorial I added a few more things like the shadows, the AR. I'll explain all that when we go. Alright, before I begin, quick reminder, I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. So you're free to ask questions in the live chat about programming or lifestyle topics. And the live stream, as you see, just go to jumbo.com, you click on the link and it'll take you right to the live stream where you can watch and post your requests. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. I would also like to mention that I did a live stream I think 2 nights ago, and it wore me out. So I wasn't able to do one at night yesterday. So I think I'll try to do it about 8:30 p.m. I'll do another one today. I did like it's relevant to today's tutorial is that I think I have another GPU that will actually be pretty good. So I'll do that. It's an AMD GPU. You guys will see that tonight about 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, let's continue today's tutorial. It's about generating or creating a modular fence gate using the Blender Python API and displaying it on the web. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate the model using Blender. So it's low poly. If you don't understand what low poly means that it's a blocky shape, and obviously it's very easy. Anybody can do that. So what happens is you create a blocky shape, and then what you do is use colors and especially textures to mimic a real the real objects. So for example, if you see this one, this is literally just cubes. Let me scroll up a little bit. So this is just cubes, basically cubes, and they're just cubes. They're just either flattened or widened. So that's all there. And then obviously use colors. You can also use a texture to mimic wood. That's all it is. So that's a simple way of explaining what a low poly model is. Or another option to think about is like, if you have a house, for example, your flooring, you can use real wood, or you can use, I don't want to call it fake wood because it's still real wood. Basically what it is, like laminate, what they do is they take wood like plywood, they compress it, so it's still real wood, and then I think about 1 to 3 millimeters, they will put a film, and they'll just take pictures of real wood and put it there, so it look like, they can make it look like fantastic. So it's really that's basically the same yes, it's the same concept. Okay, enough about that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to generate the model. We're going to use the glTF. glTF, you can have 2 versions output. You can the glTF, it's a JSON, so you can imagine it's going to be a very massive large file. Or you can also use the GLB, that's the binary version. It has been compressed, so it's one binary, one file. The glTF is also one file, but I said it's going to have so many. It's going to have so much data. So you also in this glTF you can also compress, or you can have the textures. For example, if you're using WebP, they can also be all in one file here. Obviously, you can also put that in a JSON. I don't know why you want to, because you have to base 64, so it's going to be extremely large. So you decide what you want to do. I prefer the binary ones. Okay, and then you can display it in the web browser. We're going to use the Modo viewer tag. So that's Modo-viewer tag. That's a component we're going to use, and that will display it. So you don't have to do anything. You can actually use a CDN like I do. I'll show you how to do that later. Alright, so what do you need? You need at least Blender 3 and above. I'm using Blender 4.5. It's a long-term support release. I believe Blender 3 point something was also a long-term support release. So, but to follow along, if you're using an old version of Blender, you need at least 3+. You need to have some basic knowledge of Python. Just basic. You don't need something advanced. If you don't have any, I'll show you. You can just follow along as well. It'll work. And then you need some type of text editor. If you don't have one, that's fine. You can use Blender's scripting tab. It's actually not too bad. And then you need a web browser, of course, to display the model. So I put Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. I'm using Chromium. So there you go. You can use Firefox. This browser I'm actually using right now is called Libre. What's the name of this browser? So give me a second, I forgot the name. I think it's called Libre something. Let's find out what the name of this browser is. I think usually it's in help. Oh, LibreWolf. It's called LibreWolf. So obviously it's a Firefox fork. Edge is also a Chromium based browser. So there you go. You can obviously follow along with Safari and any other browser as well, as long as it supports modern things like HTML5 and CSS3 should be fine. And you need a simple web server. So I'm going to use Python's built-in web server, but you can use PHP. So the reason I'm using Python is because if you have Blender and I'm using Blender Python, obviously I have Python installed. Alright, so let's get started with the coding part. So I'll split it up to make it easy for you guys. I've split it up into two. So the first one is the Python one. You can simply expand and copy and paste this into your text editor, or you can paste it into Blender. And then after that, you just execute it using Blender space -b, or if you want to type in the entire word, there'll be 2 hyphens and the word background, then space hyphen capital P, or if you want to use lowercase, it's and the full name is hyphen Python, and then space, and then whatever the name of the Python file. So now let's actually take a look at the Python file. I'm going to open up here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so people who are viewing this screencast on a mobile, vertical devices should be able to see it as well. So first thing we're going to do is import the Python Blender module, and then you import OS. You don't need to import the OS. I do that because I've explained this before. I like to keep things relative to where the Python file is. So what that means is that where this Python file is, I want to generate obviously the HTML file, I want to generate a blend file, and I want to generate the model all in the same file. But if you have specific files, if you hard code it, you don't need to import the OS. But I do that just makes my life easier. So first thing we do is to clear the screen. So we select all the objects and delete them. Usually, as of 2025, Blender by default comes with a default cube, default light, and a default camera. We don't need any of them. And you might say, hey, you're going to use cubes. Why are you deleting the default cube? Well, that is for 2025. In the future, Blender might decide to have maybe something else as the default. So that's why we feature-proof our code for us. And it just makes us easy because when we create it, it's already pre-selected, so we don't need to loop through everything and all that stuff as well. So we create our materials here. I want it to be slightly glossy. So what I do is I'm using the which one am I using here? No, I'm using a PBR. Oh yeah, it's down here, the principled shader. And then what I do is you will use nodes. So we'll link the nodes. So basically the base color is going to be warm brown wood, and we use the roughness to set it to 0.15 for a slight gloss. And then wood is clearly not metallic, so we set the metallic default value to 0. And for the base color, I use 0.6, 0.4, 0.2, and I'll explain what all this means. So Blender uses radians. So if you don't know what radians are, they can't be greater than 1. So it's 0 to 1. So if you think of the usual colors are set to 1, I think it's 128 if I'm correct, 128 or 255. So basically divide, usually people know the RGB usually use 255. So you can imagine, like, let's say I want white color, which is 255, 255, 255. So clear, that'll be 1, 1, 1. That's the simplest way to explain it. Okay, and then after that we create, so because we're gonna, what else is here? So then we assign the material to the object. So that's what this function here does. And then we loop through all the fence posts, because if you we're gonna have multiple fence posts, so each of them are gonna have the same color. So that's what we're doing here. So each of them are set to this location, as you can see here, and then each of them is given a slight name here. And all we do is, sorry, I was wrong. The location is based on where the IVA, because we're looping through this using the for in loop. So the location obviously will change, but the size, everything will be the same. So then we connect them. We have the connecting bars. It's all wood as well. Do I have an example here? Yeah, here we go. So this is what it actually looks like. Now you might be asking yourself, hey, wait a minute, how come it looks outdoorsy here, but in a web browser it does not look in this screenshot? I'll explain to that when we get to there. So obviously you can see the scaling here, and what else is here? Yeah, then after that we're done. We just save our blend file. This is why we have to import the OS module. So we just save it there. So // just means relative to where whatever file is calling it. So for example, this is a Python file, so relative to that Python file. And then we also generate our glb file. So again, you see // that means it will be relative to where the blend file is saved, and obviously where the Python file is. And this also works inside Blender as well. So then after that, what we do is we output, and we export is glb because we want it as a binary one. Export materials, and we set export normals to true, and that's it. We're done. Okay, so let me now go into Blender. I'm gonna run this, and I'll show you what happens. So if to run it on the command line, let me zoom in here. Come on. What is going on here? Why is it not zooming in? Type. Did I not pick the correct one? Oh, I think. What? Oh, this is the terminal. I didn't want the terminal. I want the console. So let me do that again. Okay, so put it here. Here. Okay, now show you how to zoom in. Yeah, there we go. So you type Blender space -b, or you can type hyphen and then type the word background. I just use the short version, so -b space -p. If you don't want that, you can also do hyphen and type the word Python. It has to be caps. And then the name of the file, what's the name of this file? Low poly fence.gate. Okay, so then we type low polyfencegate.py. So just to prove to you that this does work, I'm going to actually delete the one we have. So it's this one, and this one. So I'm going to delete them, and we're going to watch here. I should actually make this a little bit. There we go. Zoom out just a little bit. There we go. So you notice how I deleted them, so they're going to be recreated here. So we can watch what it says here. See Blender 4.5.1, it's LTS, that means long-term support release. And what it's doing is, man, I don't know if my GPU is dying or silly me. I tweaked a setting in OBS. So okay, that's fine. Everything's. I don't know what's taking so long. I think this is a bug. I think I might have to tweak the settings in Blender. I've noticed it's doing this every time I try to run something in the command line. It takes a while to actually get going, and then it will just complete. Yeah, so it shouldn't take that long. But the point is, as you can see, as you can see here, it says info saved. So it saved the blend file, and dashboard compression is available. Okay, I don't need that, but you can see it did all the primitives, and it saved our GLB file. So before we do anything, I'm going to open up the blend file first. You just double click on it. It should automatically. I'm on Linux, by the way, so it should open up in Blender. Yeah, this Blender version is really buggy. Yeah, doesn't surprise me at all. So yeah, it's been really buggy, so I might not be able to. I think I'll just show the screenshots. I don't think I'll be able to do anything. It's been really buggy. Yeah. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. Okay, so I don't think it's going to allow me to. Okay, let's quit. Alright, I'll see if I can just open up Blender by itself. This is just a blank Blender, nothing. I might have to tweak the settings. Yeah, it's the same thing. So let's see if I wait. Sometimes I have to click here. I don't know what's going on. So it's not going to let. Okay, looks like it's not going to let me work. I don't know, because OBS is using up all the GPU. That could also be a problem. Right, so okay, get out of here. So I'll try to close this. Okay, so it looks like I won't be able to show you guys it running in Blender, but I can probably show you some screenshots. I'll try to. Come on, guys. Okay, there. Okay, I'm going to show you some screenshots instead. What it should actually look like. Let me see. Alright, so I have some screenshots here. So this is what. Oh, let me make it full screen. Is that? Oh, it's already full screen. Okay. So what happens is you can go to this. You can go to the scripting tag. Okay. What you can. Ooh, that's really small. Zoom in. Oh, you can zoom in. Okay, there we go. That's it. Can't zoom in anymore. Wow. Okay. You can go to the scripting tag, and then what you do is you can paste in the code here, and just you have to press new. You can then press in the paste the code in there, and then you can run, and then it will generate the gate for you. And then in the layout, this is what it looks like. So you might be wondering why it looks like more real wood here than it does in the web browser. So I'll explain that now. So the reason it's like that is because I'm using an HDR. So in the next tutorial, I'll show you how you can also you can export the HDR and use it there as well. So if you notice back in here, I actually created a folder for the next tutorial, and I'll show you how to use HDR. I didn't want to introduce it now because it's a little. I want to keep this really simple. It's a very simple. So with the HDR, you see you can use the lighting, and you can see the shadows and everything from the HDR image. And if you think you have to go pay a lot of money for HDR image, actually you don't have to. The HDR images are. I think Blender by default comes with 6. Oh, so 6 comes with six of them, so you can use them. I use one of the default ones. For example, normally when you go to the shading, there's already an HDR in the background. That's why it always looks so much better than what you actually render. That's because it's using HDR. And as you can see, it's the exact same code, and you see this wood is looking so much better just because of the shadows and the light coming from the HDR image. So we'll do that in the next tutorial. And I said I don't want to introduce in this one. I want to keep this one nice and simple. All right. So I've shown you that. Next, is this frozen? What's going on? Okay, there we go. Oh, you can also see here, and then in the output you can see it only has. This is because it has the it doesn't have the HDR. I said I'll show you that how to render it properly in the next one with lighting and all that. This one I just wanted to show you how to quickly, because it says right there in the title it's a low poly one, so that's perfectly fine for low poly. Alright, so let's, before we run it in a web browser, I want to show you here we go. Let's show you the HTML. It's pretty simple. The usual doc type HTML. You have the head section. The head section, the only important thing is just put this module, which is the script. You see I'm using a CDN. It's the unpack.org. There, I think there's 3 of them. One is from Google, and can't remember what the other one is. It's another popular CDN. So then you just use the model viewer. I use the minified version. That doesn't matter. And then you don't actually need any styling. This is not a styling tutorial. This is the part, most important part. You see the model viewer. It's low poly fence gate.glb. Alt tag is actually not needed. The environment image. You see, this is where you can put your HDR image. So if you have an HDR image, you can put it here, and then you can put an exposure, camera controls, auto rotate, and shadow intensity. So we can take this out, but I left it there because it's going to be more. It's going to be a more realistic render because of the HDR image. So this courtyard.hdr, I copied that right from the Blender application. Alright, and I think it should also be here, what I call courtyard. Let's see, it should be here as well, because I'm gonna, yeah, courtyard. It's an HDR image. So if you don't know what, so this is actually, it was an X, I think it comes as EXR. So this is the actual image I'm using. Oh, can't load it here, but you can load it up in, let me actually load it up in GIMP, just to show you guys what the image actually does look like. It's an EXR. I can't say that. Here we go. So this is the HDR image. You see here, there's a dog and there's lighting and all this. So this is what an HDR image looks like. So for you guys on the, I'm going to close this. There we close it. I'm not sure how to close these tabs. Okay, I think I have to make it bigger. Let me see. I don't know how to close it. Is it? Do you drag? Oh, okay, I can drag. Okay, I didn't realize I could drag. Let's try that again. Okay, I can drag. There we go. I can drag. Oh, you can't drag that much. Okay, there we go. You guys should be able to see this. See, that's the HDR image if you're on a small vertical screen. There you go. Alright, so all I did was I just converted it to HDR. That's it. And you can see the XR image is 255. You see there 255 kilobytes, and this one is 2.1 megabyte. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. So all you need to do now is, let's go back to the command line. I need to start a Python. What do you call it? A Python server. So there are multiple ways to do that. You can just type Python space -m, then http.server, and then you can put the port number you want. If you don't use a port number, the default is 8000. So you can see it's 8000. So all you have to do now is just go to port 8000. You can also do it on the phone, and I'll show you that in a second. Where am I here? Oh, I need the Chromium browser, which actually crashed on me again. Oh, I have a, speaking of, yeah, I want to show you guys something here before we start. See, if you go to Chrome GPU, I thought it was because of WebGL, so I disabled it, and it's disabled, but it's still crashing. So the problem, I don't know what's wrong with this. It's been crashing so much. Anywho, so you can just go to HTTP. You can just type localhost and then 8000 and then whatever the name of the file. So in my case, it's low poly. Oh, looks like I don't have it. Low poly what is this one? Fence. Low poly fence. HTML. Okay, what's the actual name of it? Where is this guy? Oh, low poly fence hyphen gate. Okay, there we go. Fence hyphen gate. And you see, there it is. I'm not doing anything. You can see I'm not doing anything. See, here's my hands. It's just doing that by itself. It's the auto rotating all by itself. I'm literally not doing anything. See, you guys can see my hands here. Now if I go and do something, you see I can then rotate it, and you see it does have some color and a little bit. I think it's actually, yeah, it's picking up the it is picking up the HDR image. For example, you can see the on this side and then the back side. So it is picking it up, and you can see a little bit of I guess it depends on the position or what HDR image. I wasn't sure because the Blender documentation doesn't say which, because I wanted to use the same default EXR image they use, but I wasn't sure, so I just picked one, and this is the one here. So in the next tutorial I'll show you guys at least on Linux where they keep them. It's yeah, so there you go. So you can see it looks like real wood. It's a little bit glossy, which is what I was going for, and that's it. So it's nice and simple, all in Blender. Alright, so I'm going to show you how you can also do it on your phone. So what you need to do is you need to know the IP of your phone. So go back to the command line here. So depending on what system you're on, I'm on Linux, so I just type ifconfig. If you're on that should also work if you're on a Mac OS and other Unix type systems. If you're on Windows, you type ipconfig, There are other tools, but those are ones I know to confine. Even on your phone, actually, if you go to your if you're connected to your Wi-Fi, which I am, your local not Wi-Fi but local area network, you can find, all you have to do is find, you can go to your router and find what device your workstation or your laptop is, and then you can do it that way. So I know mine hasn't changed. Oh, sorry, I talk too much here. So you type ifconfig, and then you just look. You see, it tells me here 192.68, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So then what you do is you go to your phone. By the way, this camera here, you guys are seeing this one here. That camera it's actually a phone. It's a Node phone. So I'm not able to connect two phones at the same time using the scopy program. So anyway, so let me go to here. I'll go 192.1. Oops, I put a space. .168. Yeah, there we go. .1.230, and then what is the name of this again? Poly. What is it? Hyphen fence space hyphen again, and then gate.html. I'm using the Brave browser. Oh, it says it cannot be reached. Polyspouted. Oh, I forgot the port number. Of course, I have to edit this, and so colon 8000. There you go. So you can see that on the phone. It actually does show up on the phone as well. And obviously you can fool around with it. For example, I'm gonna rotate it. You can see I've rotated it, and yeah, everything does work. Okay, so I'll close that, and so I'll show you what I did on my use the web browser. So instead of localhost, I just typed in 192.168.0.1, and you see this is basically what the phone did. The phone loaded up, and it's still working as well. Well, what should actually let me open up a new browser. I'm going to get rid of that. So just at 192.168.1.230. So just put 8,000. You see, and then that's another way to do it. And it was low poly fence gate.ht, this one here. So there we go, and you can see it does work as well. It's the same thing. So that's all I did. Okay, so and you see it's auto rotates. So that's basically the tutorial today. Sorry I couldn't get, I am working on upgrading my system, so, and they won't be having these issues as well. Alright, I'll let that continue running. And this is a live stream, so you can tell. So, you see it's auto, and you heard that, that's actually live, and it says down here, it says it's live. Let's finish this up. So I have some recommended reading on courses, as I promised. There's a Learning Python book on Amazon. You can search for Edward Ojambo. The link is in the description. You can get the Mastering Blender Python API. It's also available on Amazon. The links are also in the description. And I have the Learning Python online course. It's available on ojamboshop.com. The link is also in the description. Now, if you need help, I offer one-on-one tutorials, personalized online Python tutoring, including Blender scripting. You can reach out to me at ojambo.com/contact. The link is also in the description. Okay, the final thoughts. Now that you've created a modular 3D model in Blender using Python and visualized it online, this is just the beginning. Automated 3D workflows can visualize your design, visualize and publish assets on the web. Have questions or want to show your fence get render? Drop a comment below. Okay, now with that said, what time is this now? Oh, it doesn't tell me. It claims it's been 30 seconds. That can't be right. Yeah. Oh no, 32 minutes. Okay, so that's a little bit too long. So I'm going to finish up quickly. So, quick reminder: I do a live stream every single day, 2 p.m. Eastern. You can visit ojambo.com. You go to watch menu, then you can see topics for this and upcoming live streams. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Quick reminder that most likely tonight around 8 to 8:30 I'll be doing another live stream on what I think I have. I've come up with a budget, and I'll show you guys what I want to get. So it'll be a little bit interesting. So it's going to be tonight. I hope it doesn't take as long as the other one, which was actually a lot of fun, and I did learn a lot. So you guys can learn a lot, especially if you want to do AI and Blender things. It will be very interesting tonight at 8 to 8:30 p.m. And also a quick update. Today at 4 p.m. Somebody is actually delivering lumber from a lumber yard. They are local not a mom and pop, but you get it. They're actually delivering. So what I want to get started on is on my emergency shed. So I'll show you guys the progress. So what I want to do is, basically, I do have solar panels, which I wasn't able to set up last year. So my plan is to set up the solar panels, set up some specific cameras, which I'll program myself. You guys will see that. I'll use some AI to tweak my algorithm. You guys will see that. So basically, it's for the chickens. It will alert me if like a fox, hawk, crow comes and disturbs the chickens. And and maybe it also, because there's a lot of wildlife around here, like there's coyotes, deer. Maybe I'll film some of that stuff. You guys might be interested in that as well. But anyways, I want to control everything myself. I did look into purchasing systems, but the thing I didn't like is that they all wanted me to sign up for some cloud thing, and I would not control my own data, and they won't allow you to, even though they claim to have an API, it was very limiting. So I don't want that, because I said I have a very specific use case. For example, like I'm doing a live stream right now, I want to be able to see, for example, the chickens, and then that's all I want. I don't need something to be on the cloud and stuff like that. And plus I want it to be powered powered by solar. So I said I'll set all that up, and I'll show you guys how that goes. Okay, with that said, I'm going to check the live chat, and I don't see any requests, so I'm going to end this stream, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. And if you can, try to join me tonight about 8:30 p.m. for another live stream chat. Okay, with that said, have a great day and see you guys tomorrow.